Rockeyez would like to welcome John Taglieri. How you doing, man? What's up?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good, very good. Homegrown Jersey boy and making good on promises that he'd make his music world happy for other people.
I do my best.
I hope you're doing great and, success always. Let's get to some of the questions I have listed here. I know you made a decision a number of years back to make music like your full-time world, I guess. How'd that work out? You have any regrets, or are you happy everything's going well, or what's up?
I couldn't be happier. I get to wake up every day and I make music for a living. So I could not be happier with how my life and my career are right now.
Cool. Now you're originally from New Jersey. You moved to Massachusetts.
Born and raised in Jersey, though.
Yeah. Why'd you leave New Jersey?
I'm married. My wife, when we were dating and when we originally got married, she moved to New Jersey, and she was there for 7 years with me. And as marriages go, and we want to have kids, and it's just a better environment for us up here around her family and friends. With me being on the road 300 days a year, it's a little more important for her to be in a place where we have a good support base for her than it is for me to go home to an apartment in New Jersey.
Right.
So we took the house that she grew up in and we renovated it up to a nice side and built a beautiful recording studio inside. And now we live in Massachusetts.
Right.
But make no mistake, I am always a Jersey boy.
Cool. Now you built your studio from the ground up. How'd that all work out?
It was great. Part of the deal, actually, when my wife and I decided to move up here, part of the deal I said to her, I will leave New Jersey and I'll go to Massachusetts, but I need a studio. I had a studio in my apartment, like a little, it was whatever was going to be the dining room became the studio. But when we moved here, I designed a lot of the house, and I actually designed part of the addition that we put onto the house was specifically designed to be a studio. I had an acoustical engineer consult with me on it, and it was custom built. There was nothing there before, so it's not like I took an existing room and made it a studio. We built a studio. And so it's not huge. It's 300 square feet, so there's a live room and a control room. But acoustically, it's wonderful. Auralex came in and helped me tune the room and sound treat the room. And, the first release out of it was Lucky Number 9, and so far everybody has said a lot of great things about the production. So I think the more I get to learn the room and the more I work in the room, it's just going to keep getting better.
Cool.
But it's a really good studio.
Cool. Now, you seem to be a prolific songwriter and stuff like that, and I'm sure you have all the material. Is there songs that you wrote, that haven't been released on any of your CDs yet? Oh,
of course. I mean, I've written more songs than I can remember writing.
Wow.
I go through periods where I won't write for a long time because I'm on the road so much and I'm so constantly moving that I just don't have the time to sit and slow down and write. And when I do have a day off, the last thing I want to do is anything musical because when you spend 240 days a year on stage and you're traveling 300 total days and you actually get a day to sit home, as much as I love music, sometimes you need a day to kind of recharge and get away from it. And unfortunately, those are usually the only times I have to write. So I'll go through periods where I won't write for a little while, and then I'll purposely build the time in to begin to write again, and then I'll write, 20 songs in a month, because once the wheels turn on, any writer will tell you, the more you write, the more you write. Once the machine turns on, you'll just keep going until you tell it to stop again. So I definitely do build in time throughout the year to write, but, it has become more difficult with the road schedule being as busy as it is.
Right. Now you definitely played, some magical places in, the country and stuff like that. I think you might have played the Beacon and the Capitol Theater.
Yep.
What was the feeling like playing them clubs that are gone now?
It's interesting. I played a bunch of those, like the Bottom Line. Remember the Bottom Line in New York?
Yes.
You know, I played there with Rick Emmett from Triumph, and not too long after it closed, and I was really happy and proud that I got to step on that stage where so many legendary acts had stepped. Same thing with the Beacon, and same thing with the Capitol and Passaic. I mean, those are, you know, the Beacon, it went on and came back, and, you know, it's amazing. It's an amazing venue now. But, you know, the Capitol Theater is gone. So, you know, it's kind of cool to sit there and say, you know, that I was on those stages. There's a couple of others that are no longer around that I actually got to sing at, Giant Stadium and Shea Stadium.
Right.
And to sit and think about the fact that, you know, I stepped on the field at Giant Stadium and sang for 80,000 people, or I stepped on the field at Shea and sang for 40,000 people, you know, and those are no longer there, but that's kind of a cool feeling as well.
Right.
Very humbling, you know, to think about who's performed in those venues and that I got to actually do that as well.
Right. Now, all your CDs are self-produced or self-released. Do you think that's a better forum for you compared to going with another label?
Yes. I was signed early in my career, and while for the first record it worked out fine, I think it worked out fine because the record was already done and they picked me up. When it went to actually making a second record, there were definite differences as far as what I thought a record should be and what the label thought a record should be. And, you know, so on my second record, my contract got sold to another company from the original company. And the second company, I just did not see eye to eye. I asked for an out. I bought the rights back to my first record, which finally reverted back to me at the end of 2010, so I actually own my whole catalog at this point. And starting on my second record, I did my own label, my own release, my own distribution, my own everything. And I'll tell you the truth, you know, I think it comes down, being your own label and being your own, releasing your own records, I think it comes down to what success you're looking for. My success was very simple, make a living doing what I love to do. Everything else that comes after that is a great byproduct. You know, singing at Giant Stadium or singing at the, you know, at the Beacon or whatever. Those are amazing byproducts of the fact that I've achieved the goal of making a living. Now, if I want to be a household name, I'm not doing it, you know. But that was never my intention. If that happens, great. But being that, you know, all I ever wanted to do is make a living playing music, I can do that on my own. I can do that on my own label, releasing records. I don't have to sell 1 million records to break even. You know, I can sell a few thousand and I make a profit. You know, so it's a lot easier than people think. I don't know if it's easier. Well, it is compared to major labels. At the major label level, it's incredibly difficult to make a living comparatively to what I get to do. So, yeah, man, this is my 9th CD, and I still do it by myself. And I have my own PR people and my own agents and my own press people and my online promotions people. And I have a wonderful team that I work with that helps me make sure we keep the machine going.
Cool. Now, does the wife get to hear the songs before they're actually, you know, available to the public? Does she give you a critique, or what's up?
Absolutely. She hears every song as they're written. She helps me pick the songs that go on the record. She co-engineers some of the sessions, because when I'm in the studio, while I have a remote-controlled system for the studio so I can run it, when I'm cutting vocals, I don't want to have to worry about running a remote control. So my wife will actually engineer the sessions when I cut vocals, so that I can just be a singer and be in the live room and get into a great zone and not have to worry about running the computer. And yeah, so she's an integral part of this. She's my partner in my company that does music as well.
Right. Does she have a favorite track on Lucky 9?
Let me ask her.
Wow.
She, you know, I don't know. Like my favorite track, I've been torn. Losing Me was my favorite track for a very long time, because I just love the way you hit play and that's the first track on the record and it comes at you like a sledgehammer and it just flat out blocks. But I never knew. Snuck up on me once. Once I did all the production, and once we sat back and listened to the record, there was something about the way I never knew came out that just really made me excited to hear that song. So, for me, those are probably the two favorite tracks for me on the record.
I definitely think so. I never knew it was my favorite track, and probably Losing Me would be second for me. But they're all really well done. I like them all. There's like no filler tracks on there, and I think once people get a listen to it, I think you'll have a bigger fan base soon. Another question. There was a book set called Lives. It was supposed to be a 3-book with accompanying EPs. What happened with that?
It was actually supposed to be 4 books.
4 books.
It was supposed to be. It was going to be 4 EPs with 4 books, and then we had an entire online world built for the 2 main characters. What happened with that was about halfway through. Lives 1 and 2 were released. Lives 3 was, for the most part, done. And the writer and I had, for lack of any better terms, we had some differences on how the business should run, and decided not to complete the project to work together any longer.
Cool. So that'll never come out again.
No, that project ended at Volume 2. I have Volume 3. It'll never be released. Volume 4 will never even happen.
Wow.
And it's sad because it was a great idea and it was a great project. And people have different philosophies, and unfortunately, his philosophy and my philosophy on how things should be done, I thought were the same at the start, and over the course of the project, I realized that they weren't, and I felt that it wasn't going to be conducive to keeping this project moving forward successfully, so we scrapped it.
Yeah, that was a big question from one of my writers, because he has Volume 1 and 2, and he really wanted to know what happened to the rest of them. That my writer,
Well, tell him to get in touch with me. I'll send him Volume 3.
Cool.
So at least you can see where that went.
Wow. So what's coming up? I know Lucky 9 just was released, I think, last month, and
yep, it came out on April 17th.
Right. Now, that's not available in a CD form, right?
No, with today's market, with everything as it is today, with CDs in such a decline, for somebody like me, and what I think is going to, keep my business running, I didn't think the expense of getting a run of CDs, physical CDs, was really going to be cost effective. In the last 3-4 years, I've seen a lot of my sales slide to an online market, and my physical sales were great at shows, but I've seen most of my sales become digital downloads. So, I just didn't think it was conducive to making more of, keeping the profit margin up, so to speak, to make physical CDs. So we just went straight to download, went right to iTunes and Amazon, and Rhapsody and Napster and all the good places.
Right. Now, what about like online bootlegging and stuff like that? People stealing your music. Can you stop that?
No, and you know what? If somebody likes my music enough that they want to copy it for their friends, please do. Please do. I have no problem with that. For me, I make a great living on the road. My merch sales are definitely a strong part of my business. But I'm still growing my brand. Even after 12 years, I'm still growing my brand. And I've always said, if I've covered my costs and I've recouped and I've made a profit, I don't care if it's $5 over what I spent making it. And if people want to spread the word, by all means, spread the word.
Wow.
I'm not one of those people who's like, I'm not one of those guys who's like, you're stealing from me. I honestly, I want my, the brand to build, and if that's part of how it happens, then that's part of how it happens. I'm fine with that.
So what was your?
I just hope they buy my next one then.
Yeah, definitely. So what's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
Oh Lordy, Well, I'll tell you, standing on the field at Giant Stadium in front of 80,000 people has to be one of the top ones.
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely.
And the Shea Stadium one was definitely huge. You know, I had my dad with me for both, and so that was a treat. I've had a lot of highlights in my career, man. I got to play Mardi Gras. I got to ride a float in the Mardi Gras parade, and you know, for 200,000 people, throw beads, and I performed on the float as it was rolling, and I've been on tour. I've shared stages with everybody I've ever idolized in this business. So, like Rick Emmett, or the guys from Sister Hazel, or I've gotten to be on stages with people who I've looked up to, and songwriters that I admire, and I've gotten to sit and talk with them and learn a little more about how they've done things and why they did things, and so there's been a lot of really great highlights in my career. I've been incredibly fortunate to have happen. From a performance standpoint, like I said, Giant Stadium is probably going to always be number one.
Cool.
That's going to be hard to beat.
Cool. So what is your feelings about New Jersey right now? I mean, all the clubs are gone, basically.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's not a lot of original clubs. There's Mexican Blues. There's the Stone Pony. When you get to a bigger level, then you got Starland. But you're right, there's not a lot left. I'm sure that there's a lot of smaller clubs that are still around. I think there's Crossroads in Garwood is still doing some stuff, but they definitely dropped off. There's still a bunch of cover rooms.
Right.
But the original scene in Jersey has definitely dropped off. No question about it. You do have to go to New York, and even in New York, the original scene is not as strong as it used to be. I mean, there's still a lot of great clubs in New York City. But as far as New Jersey goes, yeah, you're down there. There's probably, five?
Yeah.
5 really strong clubs nowadays in Jersey.
That's about it. So what are the future plans for yourself?
Continue to make music. I'm on the road all the time. I'm playing guitar right now for Joe Bachman and the Joe Bachman Band. And Joe is a modern country artist, a la Jason Aldean meets Keith Urban. So really, really poppy, really commercial country. And we're out there just hammering it on the road. But I'm also still doing shows for myself. And we just got back from the QS Singer Songwriters Festival, where we both performed together and apart. And, Lucky Number 9 has proved to be that. I don't know if Dave let you know, but it hit number 2 on Amazon.com's Best New Releases.
Cool, congratulations.
Thank you. And the song Make Me Believe went to number 1 on Best New Singles.
Cool.
On Amazon.com.
Very cool. I hope a lot of fans check that out.
I hope so, too. Make Me Believe is still in the top 10 right now. Lucky Number 9 has just been phenomenal. It's been about 3.5 weeks since the release now, and it's been doing great. And I'm looking at another release in October. I sort of go back and forth about a year between doing a full 12-song release, and then I'll take a year where I'll do 2 6-song EPs in a year.
Right.
This way, I just like to always be delivering something new. So the EPs are great because every 6 months I can give you 6 new songs, and then in the course of the year I'm putting out the same amount of music. I'm just doing it incrementally instead of one big, release each year. But in October, for my 10th release, I'm going to do a best-of package. So there's going to be a probably like a 20 or 22 track best-of package that comes out in October. But right now we're still, Lucky Number 9 is rolling strong and picking up steam, and it's on Amazon, it's on iTunes, and it's been doing great on both. I think it's really been my most successful release so far. There's been a bigger buzz around it, and we've never charted on Amazon before. So to go to number 2 for the record and number 1 for a single is really flattering. iTunes, I'm waiting for, hopefully, I'll get my report in a few weeks, and we'll see how it did on iTunes. But I can only imagine if it's doing well on Amazon, it's doing well on iTunes, because most of my friends are iTunes users. The songs are strong, I think. I'm really proud of the release. I'm really proud that it came out of my new studio. And yeah, I mean, you know, Lucky Number 9 has proven to keep it. You know, it's living up to its title right now.
Very cool.
I'm home for the next few days, and then I leave on Friday. And between Friday of this week and Labor Day, I only get to see my house 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
So we have a very, very heavy summer coming up of touring. We're going to be in Boston, Long Island, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Nashville, Chicago, all over the place. We're literally traveling constantly. We're playing 4th of July weekend for the troops down at Fort Stewart, Georgia, which is going to be an absolute treat. There's a lot going on, man. It's really great to be busy.
Cool, cool. Well, I congratulate you on Lucky Number 9. Would you like to say anything to your fans out there?
Thank you. Thank you for letting me have a career. You know, I'm not one of those guys who pretends to think it's anything. I put out music, but if people don't like it or people don't support it, you know, it doesn't really matter. And so thank you for supporting me all these years, 12 years, 9 releases, and for allowing me to be able to do this for a living. It's the greatest gift that they've given me.
Great, great. Thanks a lot.